So if you're absolutely tired of your job, then this video is for you. Because what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna show you how money can create freedom. Freedom from the job that you hate. Freedom from that cubicle you're sitting in right now. Freedom from the job that takes away all your energy, brings you anxiety, stress, all of those different things. And the freedom is called financial independence. And a lot of people call it the FIRE movement, which means financial independence, retire early. And this movement, if you've never heard of it, is absolutely going to change your life, because this is the way to take control of your life. This is the way to change the trajectory of your life, to do what you want every single day. Imagine having the energy and the time and the focus to do what you want every single day. Maybe it's to start that business you always wanted to start. Maybe it's to give more time to the charities that you enjoy. All of these things are major reasons to pursue financial independence. And today, I'm gonna show you exactly how it works. First, let's talk about some of the benefits of financial independence. The first one is it reduces stress. So a traditional 9-to-5 can be really stressful for a lot of people. And if you're working and your stress level and anxiety levels are really, really high, then this is something that's gonna be able to reduce that, because you're gonna have the freedom to do what you want. The next one is you're gonna have more free time and flexibility. More free time to spend doing what you want. Free time with your family, with your kids, with your parents. Whatever you want to be doing, it allows for more free time and flexibility in your day-to-day life. The last one is it applies healthy investing habits, because since financial independence means that you have to invest your money and you have to save and invest aggressively, it promotes good financial habits. And what you're gonna see is you're gonna build up a lifelong habit of investing more, saving more money, and spending less money over time. Now, here's how FIRE works. It works by understanding a simple concept called the gap. And what the gap is it's the difference between your income and your expenses. And the gap between your income and expenses is the extra cash that you have left over at the end of the day. With that extra cash, what you want to do is put it towards income producing activities, which is either investing that money or putting the money towards things that's going to grow your income and building skills and education and things like that. Because every extra dollar that you invest means that you're one step closer to financial independence. You're fueling the fire. And the biggest thing to understand is the gap is where wealth is built. So saving just 10% of your income is not going to cut it. You need to increase that gap over time as much as you possibly can, from 20 to 30 to 40 to 50% over time, so that you can reach financial independence as fast as possible. So people who spend more than they make have a negative gap. People who spend less than they make have a positive gap. And growing that positive gap is how you're gonna reach FIRE sooner. So how can you grow that gap? Well, the first way is to save more money. So to reduce your expenses and save more money. That's the first way that you can grow the gap. The second way, and this is the biggest way in my opinion, is to increase your income. You can do this a number of ways. You can increase your income at work by negotiating your salary. We have a free ebook that I'll link up below where you can check out exactly our system on how to do that. You can increase your income by starting a side business or a side hustle and starting to have extra income streams by doing that. Or you can increase your income by investing your money in different assets. So things like real estate, stocks, bonds, businesses. All of these will help you increase your income over time. The third way to grow the gap is to invest more dollars, because the more dollars you invest, the more dollars in income they produce, and it grows over time. And then the fourth way is to spend less. So those are the four ways to increase the gap, and understanding the gap is extremely important in understanding financial independence. So every time you make a money decision, just think to yourself, does this grow the gap? If it does, then it's worth doing. If it doesn't, then if the thing brings you value, then it's worth doing. But if it doesn't, then you might as well just pursue activities that grow that gap. So now that we understand the gap and what financial independence is and why we want to pursue financial independence, let's look and see what the math is behind financial independence. How much money do you need to save? How much money can you draw down? All of those things. So your savings rate is the catapult to pursuing FIRE. Your savings rate is really what's going to get you started early on. And understanding that traditional advice, saving 10%, 15% of your income, is not going to cut it. because someone who saves 10% of their income, it's going to take them well over 40 years before they can retire. So increasing your savings rate to 30, 40, 50, 60% is going to be extremely important. And we have a savings rate chart that I'll link up below so that you can check it out and see what is my savings rate and how fast can I retire, because this is extremely important to understand. And if you look at a couple of them here, I'll check a couple of them out so we can see how fast can I actually retire. So for example, if you do the traditional 10% savings rate, it would take you 51 years to retire. But if you save 20% of your income, it would take you 37 years. But if you want to save 50% of your income, it would only take you 17 years. And if you save 65% of your income, it would take 10 years. Now, these numbers are based on extremely conservative investment returns at 5%. So those returns can be much higher, where you can retire much faster if your returns are much higher, investing in things like index funds, which have returned 10% over time. Now, the next thing to understand is the 4% rule, because the 4% rule is extremely important in the financial independence equation. The 4% rule is based on a study called the Trinity study. I'll link up the study below so you can check that out. But the Trinity study found that if you draw down 4% of your portfolio each and every year, you can preserve that portfolio during your retirement years. And now some people think this is pretty conservative and that you can actually draw down even more than that. And some people argue maybe it should be lower to 3.5%. My rule of thumb is if you're under the age of 40, bump it down to 3.5%. If you're over the age of 40, bump it up to 4%. So let's do some simple math here. If you think that you want to retire with $80,000 a year, then you need $2 million before you can retire. So the faster you get to that $2 million saved up in your nest egg invested, that means that you can retire at that point. If it only takes you 10 years, you're retired in 10 years. If it takes you 5 years, you're retired in 5 years. Or if you only need $40,000, you just need $1 million. If you need $120,000 a year, you need $3 million. And that's how the simple math works. But there's another quick way to do the math as well, where you could do the 25x rule. And this is where you just take 25 times the amount that you spend every single year, and that's how much you need to retire. So if you spend $100,000 a year, you need $2.5 million to retire. And that's a super simple, easy way to do the math. Now, a lot of people think that being extremely frugal is the only way to achieve financial independence. It's not the only way. There's a bunch of different ways that you can do this. The first way is called Coast Fire. So what Coast Fire is you save up a bunch of money in the first couple of years, and then you can coast your way to retirement. So for example, if you save $500,000 and you never contributed another dollar to that $500,000 and you got an 8% rate of return, that portfolio in 10 years would be worth $1.1 million. So someone who knows that they want to live off $40,000 a year can save up their initial $500,000 and then coast for the next years and not contribute money to the retirement account and be able to retire still in 10 years because they saved up that initial nest egg and it grew over time at an 8% rate of return. And Coast Fire is a really cool strategy, especially if you're someone who likes your job, but you want to make sure that you have your bases covered. And this is a great way to start. The next amazing option is called Barista Fire. And what Barista Fire is that you save up a certain amount of money towards your retirement, then you retire a little earlier and take a part-time job surrounding your interests to cover the difference. So for example, say somebody wanted to live off $40,000 a year and they had $750,000 saved up. Well, they need to get to $1 million based on the 4% rule to be able to retire. Instead of waiting for them to save up the additional $250,000, they could take a part-time job at a coffee shop, for example, to fill in the difference of $25,000. So this is great because it can surround your interests with your part-time job. Love fishing? Become a fishing captain to make up the difference. You like hiking? Become a hiking guide. If you like fitness and yoga, become a yoga instructor. All of these are fantastic examples where you can find things surrounding your interests, do things you want to do every single day, and be able to retire that much sooner. The next option is Fat Fire. And Fat Fire is one of the coolest options. If you like to ball out, you like to spend money, then Fat Fire may be for you. This is for people who want to have a really large nest egg and live off a higher income every single year. And there's some really cool Reddit groups surrounding Fat Fire where you can look in and see how a lot of people did this. But these are for high net worth individuals or people who want to save up a lot of money and live off a significant amount every single year. And then the last one is the traditional approach called Lean Fire. And Lean Fire is the popular way to do this, where people will save up as much money as they possibly can, live a frugal lifestyle, and retire in 10 to 20 years. So what are your next steps? What should you do next to be able to achieve this? Well, sit down and make a plan with the people around you who are in your life so that you can figure out, how can I achieve financial independence if this is something you want to do? And figure out, how much do you want in retirement? Because that's going to tell you how to work backwards towards your number so you can figure out, I only want $100,000 in retirement, so I need $2.5 million saved up. I only need $40,000 in retirement, so I only need $1 million saved up. You can work backwards by knowing that number. And then lastly, just think through your other options. Do you want to be mortgage-free in retirement? Do you want to have zero car payments or anything else like that? Do you want to get rid of all your debt? Making sure that you have that in your plan is extremely important so that you know what to expect. Then the last thing to understand is you cannot achieve financial independence without investing your money. Maybe you're investing in a business. Maybe you're investing in the stock market, which is the traditional approach, into things like index funds or dividend stocks. Maybe you're investing into real estate, but you have to invest your money to be able to achieve financial independence, because that's the compound effect. That's how the 4% rule works. And that's how you can figure out how much money you can draw down every single year. Listen, I hope you guys enjoyed this video about the FIRE movement and financial independence. And if you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll answer each and every single one of them. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell as well. And if you love this content, we're gonna have a ton more content surrounding financial independence and the FIRE movement. So make sure you check that out. And here are a couple more videos that I know you're gonna love as well. We'll see ya on the next video.